Hello, welcome to my crafting. Yvonne here. I'm going to make this card, the second card in this series, using the Designer Series paper Blackberry Beauty. And I've got a new extension on my camera, so I'm hoping I can do a better job on this video for you, and I won't be going off screen doing work. So let's take a look at this. I just put that white paper down so you can see a little better. So for this card, I'm using the Designer Series paper Blackberry Beauty, and I'm going to use one of the pieces off this sheet. Isn't that gorgeous paper? And we're going to use early Espresso cardstock and another sheet, the back side of the Designer Series paper. And the coordinating color is out of Cinnamon Cider and early Espresso. So I thought I'd try two of those cards. And this card I used the brush metallic gold for this layer here, and I thought I want to show you that you could use this card and actually use a white card base. Now I've cut a 2 by 3 inch, or I mean a 3 inch by 5 1/4, and I haven't stuck it in. I've just put it in there so I can stamp it later. I could put it over here if I wanted to, or over here. And at the end of this, I'll show you some of this other samples that I made using this card design, and I'd like to thank Karen Titus, I think she's from the UK, for her inspiration on this card. So let's get started. And you may hear my assistant Tigger in the background. He's being noisy this morning. So on this sheet here, as I explained before, you can get 6 cards out of this if you cut this 6 inches across here and then 4 inches here, so that would give you 3 on each side. So I've got a piece left over from my last, I'm not sure what the size is, but this piece here is going to be 3 inches, sorry, this piece here is 3 inches by 4 inches. So I'm going to take 3 inches, and I want this top part of the card, so I'm going to cut it off at 4, and that's how I ended up with that bottom piece that I did on that previous card with this strip there. You wonder where I found that to put it on the inside. That was that piece. Okay, so we need 2 of those. So I'll do another one, and I kind of like this one over here, so I'm going to do it this way. Inches, and I'm going to take some off the top. Whoops, take some off the top of that, and then make it 4 inches. Isn't it a shame? But save all those pieces because they're okay. So you got 2 of those card base, early Espresso, 8.5 by 11, so I'm going to cut it in half to 5.5, 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Okay, then on each of these pieces on the right hand side, I'm going to trim 1 inch off. My goodness, you'd think Tigger was suffering, but he's a little put off because I won't let him come up on the table. Now, I don't know if I showed you that this card, the interesting part about this card, when you open it up and you have this 3 different sizes. Okay, so that's going to be your card base. We've got the 2 card fronts. Put this over here. Now the side strips are 2 inches wide, and this is really easy because if you keep these dimensions, you can mass cut a whole bunch at one shot. Okay, and then at 5 1/4. Now actually, I need 2 more of those. Just from my other card. And this, just make sure when you're cutting that you have a clean edge. Okay, I'm just lining top and bottom. 2-inch strip. I'll cut this 5 1/4. And probably when you looked at this paper, this side of this paper, you thought, I don't know what I'll ever use that for. But I'm hoping with this design you really like it. And I think it looks really great. Okay, I think we've got, I got to cut the background layer. So the background, because you're 3 by 4, so you want it 3 1/4. By 4 1/4. Okay, we'll do one with Cinnamon Cider, and we'll do one with Brush Gold. And you know, you could even do this layer in early Espresso as well. I just happen to have some paper. Okay, that's 3 1/4 already, so I just need 4 1/4. And I'll show you a little tip about gluing paper onto gold foil. Okay. And we'll get started here. Okay, so give your paper, your cardstock base, score this and really give it a good scoring. And I like to use the edge of my bowl folder this way so you don't get a mark on your paper. You can do the tip as well, but like this, a tip kind of run it flat, and then do this as well. That just helps the stress of your paper. Okay, so now on these we can go ahead and glue these on, and there really isn't top or bottom, but maybe looking at the pattern, you might like it one way or the other better. So I think I'm going to have to pause this and get a new thing of Tombow. Okay, to open your Tombow, got a new one. To see there's a little perforation line there. Just get your scissors in there and get it started. Peel that off. And there you go, you're good to go. Ooh, nice fresh. I put the lid inside my little container like that so I don't have to unscrew the cap every time I go to use it. Just at the end of your project, just remember to screw the cap back on. I've forgotten, and it just kind of it dries out. You get a little cake build up on the end of it. Okay, outside and on the inside. Whoops, come on. Oh, got it kind of globby there. So I'll just take a little piece of this, kind of smooth that out so I don't get a mess. And I think I like going that way. So I'm just going to line up. Okay, and I'm just looking up on my screen, and I think it looks a little better if I use some white paper behind that. How's that, so you can see it a little better? Okay, so now for the top panel, when you're using gold foil, Tombow, your water-based glues don't stick that well. So you're better off using something like this, and this is Stamp and Seal Plus, and just run that I know, and it's kind of scary. You got to do it straight. Okay, now on this, and then you just put it here. And so remember, it's this side, and I'm going to use Stamp Seal Plus again. You can't put your glue right across, or your sticky tape, because it overlaps here, right? And I'm just going to, oops, put this on here so you can see it better, sorry. Like so. Okay, so on your sentiment, you can add sentiments, and I have on, like on this card, a 3" by 5 1/4 that I'm not going to stick in because I can take it out and stamp a sentiment on there if I choose. So I'm just going to leave it in the card so it's all ready to go. So now on this card, I'm going to do the same thing. Like, this is really a quick and easy card to do. It looks great. Kind of the fold is very, very interesting, and I'll show you some of the combinations I made last night while I was waiting for the video to upload. I live in a rural area, as you may know, and to upload a video can take 4 to 5 hours. I went to a meeting, came back, and it had only been 71% uploaded, and then it froze, and I had to start all over. So I didn't get it uploaded until 2 o'clock this morning. And then I couldn't sleep after that, so I may run out of zip by this afternoon. Okay, on this, because you're putting the paper on cardstock, you don't have to use your Stampin' Seal Plus. I want to show you some different color combinations because this card design is really fun. You could really, you know, if you want to put this in dimensionals, okay, let's do that just for fun, just to show you. And you could do your sentiment on dimensionals. So I got to remember when I'm doing this, it's this side that I can put adhesive on. Probably, I'm guessing 2 about there. I should be okay. Cross my fingers. Uh-oh, Tigger just pulled my microphone cord. So I'm hoping this is still working. Okay. Let's put this right about there. Haha, I got it. Yep, looks good. So then, now try this with a white card base too, right? So this is your, this is what we've done here. Now I want to show you some samples, like I was saying, that I had some fun with. And I'll just put a sheet of paper down here so that you can see better these cards. Okay, so for this design, like this, it looks really nice standing up too, by the way. Okay, so look at this. So this is basic gray, and you'll recognize the paper. This is from the Peaceful Cabin, I think it's called. Okay, so basic gray with a silver layer, and I haven't used dimensionals on anything because this makes it great for mailing. You know, I could put I can put a sentiment, I could put some embellishments, some sequins, or you know. Okay, so this is using Smoky Slate and using the Designer Series paper, again, that same style. And this one is basic gray, same with the cabins, but I flipped this paper over and used the reverse side, and it's got a sort of silver embossed. Okay, so you could change this up. You could actually do this layer here, change it to Smoky Slate or something. You know, you can, it's for you to decide, but it's really great in cutting your dimensions because you can cut a whole bunch at one time and you know it's going to work. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, you recognize this paper. This is from the Harvest Designer Series paper. And just do a sentiment there. It'd be awesome. And this is with crumb cake, and I used the bronze, brushed bronze, and did the same thing. Very mute, soft colors there. Same Designer Series paper package. This is in Misty Moonlight. Same thing, right? Wouldn't that look great with the sentiment, or you could do a circle one. Okay, and it's the same design. Okay, I got into the little Christmas stuff a bit, and I took some of this paper, and I love it, but it's really bright and bold, and you think, oh, what am I going to use that for? Wow, eh? Look at that. And this is Evening Evergreen, the dark green, and I used brush gold on that layer. And this little die cut is from the, what is it? Okay, this little die, that label, and it's from the Pretty Pillow Box dies, and I'm going to do a video on that as well. So, you know, look through your stash of stuff, and you can really be creative with that, right? Okay, same card. I raised this one up in dimensionals, makes it just a little bit different. And I used the Evening Evergreen background layer on that. Okay, so I kind of reversed it, and I used real red on this one. Same idea. Embellishments. Okay, I was having some fun with this. With the this is in Cherry Cobbler. And this cute guy. And this is the stamp, and I just stamped it and cut it and trimmed it and put it in two lines. Stamped the inside, and that's the Designer Series paper from that package as well. Okay, penguin paper. You recognize that? And this is from the die Encircled in Warmth, the stamp set. And this is, oh dear, what is this called again? Soft Seafoam. And this is Fresh Freeze, the purple, so I just kind of jazzed it up a bit. Same idea. Okay, and in that same package of paper, they have a sort of a blue version of that. So this is Misty Moonlight, the Designer Series paper. And that, same thing, right? So when you're doing your cards, kind of a rule of thumb is what you're looking for is your larger pattern to go in the center, and your smaller or softer muted pattern in the background. And there's no, it's not a rule, because look at this, wow, right? You can't apply that to that, but it does work because this red, real red, is smaller in pattern than what's happening here. If I'd put this paper on the back and this red in the front, it wouldn't have worked, okay? You know what I mean. When you take a look at your paper, just get your stashes of paper out and flip the back sides and take a look at what you've got. And always remember, when you're looking at your paper and you're trying to decide what colors to use, it'll say it right on the front. So it says Blackberry Bliss, Cinnamon Cider, Early Espresso, Polished Bacon, Rich Raspberry for this Blackberry Designer Series paper. So that gives you a lot of help right there. So, you know, sky's the limit, but boy, can you make a lot of cards using your Designer Series paper. And really, the stamping you can do is for your sentiment on the front or the inside. So have a go at this. Get creative. And sometimes you have a stash of designer paper and you think, what am I going to do it, use it for? Try it out, because it's really a lot of fun. Okay, so hope you give this a try, and thanks for coming to my craft room. Bye for now.